City of Lakeland Code Enforcement hearing. My name is Natalie Reyes, and I am going to be serving as your hearing officer today. Before we get started, I would ask that everyone please silence your cell phones. I am an attorney at the law firm of Gray Robinson, so I would ask that you please bring it to my attention if your case is called and you are represented by Gray Robinson in any capacity. There are two ways that we can address your case today. The first method is called summary disposition. Summary disposition is for those who are not disputing whether there is a violation and only need more time to comply. We will address all of those cases first. For anyone who elects summary disposition and is given extra time to comply, the potential fine for noncompliance would be $30 per day for each day of noncompliance after the extra time versus the normal fine of $50 per day. The second way we can address your case is by hearing your case. This method is for those who are disputing whether there is a violation and would like to present testimony and evidence as to why they believe there isn't a violation. I would now ask that everyone please stand and be sworn in by the clerk.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give us the truth and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, so for everyone electing summary disposition, please form a line in front of me. Do you have a page number, sir? Page number 1? Yes. What's your name?
Quentin Bruton.
Oh, you're not, since you're not the owner, sir, of the property, I'm going to have to listen to your case.
Well,
No, sir.
does she have an estate?
No, ma'am. She's.
He's the husband of the lady that's listed on the agenda is deceased.
You're the husband of the owner,
Yes, ma'am.
who is now deceased?
Yes, ma'am.
I think he can probably, in that case, go ahead.
Okay.
If he wants to take the summary, do that.
Okay, so this is page 1, case number LCE 22-04233, property address 1115 West 10th Street. The owner is Tiffany Miles, and Mr. Griffin Quinton is here. What's your recommendation?
30 days.
30 days? Are you in agreement?
That's great.
Okay, so you'll have 30 days, sir, to comply.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
What page was that? That
That's page 1, it's the very first one. Mhm.
I just need your signature on the bottom. Okay. You'll get a notice in the mail. You'll get a notice in the mail.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
You're welcome. Hi.
Good morning.
Good morning, sir.
My name is Terrence Peterson.
What page number did they give you, 29?
29, yes, ma'am. And to be honest with you, the enforcement notice I received, it went to my old address, so I just got it not too long ago, but I don't know specifically what the violation is. It just says permits.
Let me give you some time to speak to the code enforcement officer, because right now, have you spoken to your?
I tried several times, and we haven't been able to kind of Mr.
Is-
Morgan.
So why don't you speak to him first, and then you can come back up.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Hi, good morning. And what is your page number? What's the page number right here? 5, okay. And what's the property address? Okay, page number 5, case number LCE 22-07795, 603 Beach Avenue. The owner is Kenia Gutierrez Rivera. Good morning.
So you want to do a summary on that property, to give you some more time?
Yeah, because we got everything done, just then everything that she sent over.
I mean, we can do a summary for 30 days, since you have pretty much everything done. Okay.
30 days? Okay, so you're going,
Yeah, just call me for an inspection, and then I can come back with the case closed.
perfect, so we will have 30 days, and that will actually bring you to April 8th, 2023. And what is your name again, I'm sorry?
Kenya Gutierrez.
Oh, so you are the owner. Okay, perfect.
Okay, I just need your signature on the bottom. Okay, you'll get notice in the mail.
Thank you.
Just give me a call.
Anyone else for summary administration? Okay. Is he summary? Yeah, we're going to do the 30 days. Okay, perfect. What page, sir?
Sorry?
Page 29.
Yes.
Okay. So this is page 29, case number PER 22-07243. Property address is 3407 Bridgefield Drive. Joseph Terrence Peterson?
It's actually Terrence Joseph Peterson.
Terrence Joseph Peterson, perfect. And you said there was an error in your address?
Yeah, the original address was sent to my land address.
Okay.
The property address is my current address.
Oh, okay, where the
Yeah, so
3407?
that is my correct
Okay.
address now currently.
We'll
but
correct that,
The initial
and-
notification went to
Okay,
the.
you need to, if, because we get our address from property appraisal, so you need to make sure the property appraisal has been corrected.
Okay.
Okay.
And so the recommendation is 30 days?
30 days.
Okay.
Okay, I just need your signature on the bottom. Okay, I'll get that address changed.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate that. Okay, thanks.
Okay, so anyone else for summary administration? Okay, perfect. Okay, so we're going to go with page 4, case number LCE 22-07697, property address 420 Petaway Drive, owner HPA 3 Acquisitions 1 LLC. I have a Jamilet Correa as the tenant. Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser. Or Kaiser.
You're the tenant, correct? Okay, so she's going, you are here basically to state you want this to continue going forward. You're not representing the owner, correct?
No, not the owner.
Okay, so I just wanted to clarify that for you. Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-07697, address is 420 Pettyway Drive. The owners listed as HPA 3 Acquisitions 1 LLC. Violations are housing violations as listed on the agenda, reference ordinance 3947, chapter 3. The date of the violations, November 22nd, 2022, to be corrected by January 21st, 2023. Reinspection on January 23rd, 2023, and pictures taken on March 3rd, 2023 show that the violations still remain. The pictures, just for your information, the pictures on dated 3/3 of 23 are just exterior because I've had no calls to reinspect anything on the interior or anything. So at this time, the city would recommend compliance by May 8th, 2023, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
What exactly is the violation?
So the violations have to do with plumbing that doesn't function properly, the interior floors, walls, and ceilings being damaged, the interior floors in the kitchens or bathrooms not being impervious, the roof leaking, and so a lot of the wall damage has to do with water that has leaked from the roofs, and so then you've got cracks coming, you've got the paint that bubbles because the water goes down into the walls, et cetera. Those are, so roof portions, roof parts, and the roof itself, and then some exterior door issues not
And
being.
what is your recommendation?
So the recommendation is to comply by May 8th, 2023, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
And I assume she's in agreement, that's why she's here, is that what you indicated?
Right, she is in agreement, and she just wanted to testify as to what she's had to go through.
Absolutely. Ms. Correa, if you can just state your full name for the record.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Can you please state your full name?
Oh, I'm sorry. Jamilet Fernandez Correa.
Sure, and go ahead with your testimony.
Me, I'm very sad. Like, I got 3 children at home. I got 2 twins, 8-year-old. With the feeding, he got problem with the lungs. And me continuous in the house, in that one house. My babies, they like 1 month sick because inside in the house, like You see the picture? The inside very, very like bad, I think so, because my baby, he got respiratory, lungs problem. And sick too much, Entonces, me continue over there in March, me not pay the rent because nobody, the landlord not call me. I don't know who the landlord, and continue like that. So I'm trying to look in the lawyer, but nobody, he wanted the case. So I don't know.
Okay. So I'm going to uphold the officer's recommendation to May 8th, 2023. After that, a $50 per day fine will be imposed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Correa, for your testimony. Appreciate it. Page 12, case number LCE 22-08522, property address 4629 Little Grove Lane, owners Ammon Patricia or Eric Ammon, Code Enforcement Officer Charles McClellan.
Code Enforcement Officer Charles McClellan for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-08522 for the address of 4629 Little Grove Lane. Owners are Patricia and Eric Ammon. Violations of Ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of the violation was January the 9th of 2023. Reinspection on January the 10th, and photos taken on March the 3rd show that the violation did still exist at that time. The city recommends the property come into compliance by March the 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine be imposed, and run until compliance is met.
Thank you. Sir, if you can please state your name for the record.
Good morning. My name is Eric Ammon. I have some information I'd like to share with you if I can bring it forward.
Absolutely.
Bring it over here, sir.
Oh, yeah, except for you.
The car has since been tagged and registered. It has insurance, and it will be headed to a repair shop in Tampa once the gentleman's able to take it in. It's a 55-year-old car, and there aren't a lot of people that can work on it quickly. And he takes his time with things, so it could be there for a while, but it's in the driveway, and I don't think it's an eyesore. I have 5 or 6 letters from my neighbors that don't think it's an eyesore. I don't know what else to tell you.
So, sir, now that it has a license, is it in compliance now?
It would be, I just would need to drive by and verify it. So if he gives me permission to walk around the back just to look at it, yes.
Please,
Absolutely.
yes.
Okay, so can you go before March 19th?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and do that. Before March 19th, he's going to drive by the
Thank you.
house, make sure it's in compliance.
Thank you, ma'am.
If it is not, then it would be a $50 fine. Okay, per day.
Thank you.
Have a great day. Page 14, case number LCE 23-00014, property address 505 Cary Place, owners Eleanor Brower, and I have a Michael Brower and a Down Brower. Code Enforcement Officer Darren Kroll. No one's here.
00014. Ready? Yep. Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 23-00014. The address is 505 Cary Place. The owner is Eleanor Brower. The violation is Section 86-2, lot clearing overgrowth. The date of the violation was January 4th of 2023. It was to be corrected by January 11th of 2023. Reinspection occurred on January 20th of 2023. Photos taken March 2nd of 2023 show the violation still exists. The city recommends that the property come into compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed until compliance is met. I have spoken with the property owners, and I thought there was an agreement between them and the complainant, who is also here, who wants to testify. So that's all I have to present.
Okay.
If she wants to testify, we'd appreciate it if she goes first.
One second, ma'am. May I see the picture so I can see the violations, please?
Yeah. What happened is that chain link fence was the dividing line, was the dividing fence between the properties when the properties were built. The owner built that vinyl fence, and there's about a 5 to 6 inch gap in between. They just moved it further in on their property line and put up that fence. So the overgrowth is occurring between the vinyl fence and the chain link fence. And the contention is because that chain link fence was the original boundary, they moved the vinyl fence into their property, therefore the overgrowth is their property.
Okay.
I don't have any disagreement with anything you said so far.
I'm sorry, ma'am, what is your name?
I'm Dawn Brower.
You're the owner.
I'm Michael's wife. Michael's the owner. I'm here on behalf of Eleanor. I have information.
And where's Eleanor?
Eleanor's dad.
Okay, and Michael is the owner, and that, you are Michael, sir? Correct. Okay, and you are Dawn?
And we're happy to hear what Carol has to say if she wants to testify, and then we'll follow
Well,
up.
I would like you to respond to the officers. So you have no objection to the officer's recommendation?
No, I do have an objection to the officer's recommendations because Carol's going to decide how she needs this mitigated. But I'd like to hear what she has to say.
No, you're here first, ma'am, so what is your
Okay.
objection to the officer?
Then I will share. Eleanor Brower, my mother-in-law, was the homeowner at 505 Cary Place for nearly 70 years, and she went into the hospital in October of 2022. She passed 3 months later, just before Christmas. During that time, my husband was approached by the neighbor of 30 years via text in regard to the plant growth between the two fences, one chain link and one white vinyl, about 5 inches apart that separate 505 and 509 Cary Place. We'd heard from Mom that the neighbor had called repeatedly asking to take down the chain link fence on the 509 side, to the point that she felt repeatedly harassed about it. We had several messages on the answering machine, and Mom said that she had just called over and over. Mom's answer was consistently no. Carol was insistent with Michael over text, said that she was planning to sell, and that was her urgency. And my husband put her off, explaining that while Mom was on her deathbed was not the time to address this problem. We had other things to do. He also politely suggested during that exchange that Carol may not have to worry about the fence at all because we would be interested buyers if she was indeed selling. And I guess that comment evidently offended her. In early January, I approached Carol myself, taking over a copy of Eleanor's eulogy and explaining that I knew that there had been hassles given Mom's pain and emotional state. It was an olive branch. I explained that we'd be taking care of the property and that we wanted a better relationship. She invited me into the backyard where I looked at the offending runners between the fences. I also noted wild native ferns and several small trees growing along the fence, as well as lots of other unpruned saplings in her mostly grass-free yard. And I think the code enforcement officer in the picture showed that.
And sorry to cut you off, Ms. Brown. Mr. Kroll,
Yes.
that belongs, I mean, the overgrowth belongs to the property of 505 Cary Place.
Then the space between, correct.
That's their property, correct?
Yes.
Because
Correct.
they installed the fence 5
Correct.
inches after. Do you have any objection in removing that?
I do. I'm trying to explain
I
what
need to
happened.
get
I know
this.
that you want to shorten these proceedings, but we have the right to tell you what happened.
Yes, but I cannot have you take over the entire hearing, so I just need you to summarize it and get to the point as to what is your response to his.
Most of the foliage between the two fences is stuff that has been dropped there, et cetera. She's claiming that it's snow on the mountain that my mother-in-law planted years ago. Those are plants that have been gone for 5 to 10 years. I have a picture of the 505 side of the fence. She has an overgrown mess in her entire backyard. What's happening between those fences is consistent with what's happening in the rest of her yard. I told her that we could mitigate this with Roundup, that we could spray Roundup and that we could happily kill all of the stuff between the two fences. I also offered to go to her house on an approach from her side of the property and trim all of those pieces myself by hand. I said, you have my number and you can do that. And she had an altercation with Michael about something on the phone or in the front yard, and he said, you know, because we had offered repeatedly verbally to let her take down the chain link fence because this is something that she's been complaining about and harassing my mother-in-law about for years. She doesn't like the fence. She wants the fence down. She does not care about that stuff, because if she did, she would have accepted my offer to come over and trim it or to use herbicide.
And the rest of her yard wouldn't look.
And I told her there are native plants there too, and there are plants along the rest of that fence that she considers hers. And I told her very clearly, I said, I am perfectly okay with leaving a wide swath of scorched earth between those two fences, but it will affect plants that she considers hers.
Let me ask you
She
that.
doesn't care about the stuff between the bushes between the fences. This is a ruse, and she has now used code enforcement because she wants that chain link fence down. And she has told me at great length in texts that she wants that chain link fence down, and that the reason she called about the bushes was because Michael told her, if you want to fight about the fence, we'll give you one. This is a 30-year-old grudge match between two old ladies, and one of them's dead, and one of them is using you guys to get rid of the fence. Now, we will have it trimmed,
Ma'am,
we will have it sprayed.
1 second. The chain link fence, who does it belong to? Doesn't it belong to the neighbor? It belongs to you.
It belongs to 505. Mrs. Brower had problems with this neighbor for a long time. And what she did was she put up a bigger fence so she didn't have to deal with her. And this woman's chased her into the grave. Now, we will pay for a spray service to come and spray. We will pay for lawn maintenance to maintain this on the regular basis. But Carol needs to tell us how she wants us to handle it. Alternatively, she can withdraw her complaint and handle it herself and not lose any of the plants that she loves. She has the choices here. But we offered multiple times, A, to let her take down the fence, which we have now rescinded, B, to spray herbicide, or C, to trim it. She cannot be pleased because what she wants is the fence gone. And she's not going to get that.
Mr. Pearl,
Yes.
if these owners own the chain link fence
Yes.
and the neighbor owns the vinyl fence.
No,
and-
we own both fences.
You own both
505 owns both fences, and we agree that we would be responsible for the overgrowth between the fences. She doesn't want the overgrowth gone. She's demanding we remove the fence. And she claims that's the only way it can be fixed. So we need your help. We're either going to have this dismissed, we're going to spray herbicide, or we're going to trim it, and Carol can decide.
And what I am not understanding is why the neighbor's opinion matters if you own both fences. So
Because-
technically, the space belongs to you. Am I understanding that correctly?
That is correct.
So who cares what the neighbor says?
Because I'm trying to be kind,
Yeah.
because she has told us she told me directly that she did not want herbicide use because her house has been 85% organic for 25 years. And I'm a plant person, so I respect that. She's got beautiful native ferns and several trees that she's allowed to grow in that space. She's being difficult because she wants the fence down. I'll give her what she wants, but she won't like it. And then she's back there talking to him about criminal proceedings, and she has us afraid.
I appreciate your testimony. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Carol, is Carol here?
She's going to have to tell us in front of this board how she wants it mitigated, and we'll do whatever you guys say. Just let us know.
Neighbor? I don't.
I'm sorry.
Is the neighbor?
I mean, if she's here, you should probably just let her testify but
She can have whatever she wants as long as she leaves us alone about the fence.
appreciate it.
We are not taking it down.
I appreciate it. Miss Carol?
Hearing
You can
officer,
come here.
can I clarify something?
Absolutely.
When Carol was asking me the process, how this goes, I equated it. I'm a former law enforcement, so I explained to her, this is kind of like an arraignment where you present the evidence to a hearing officer. If the hearing officer finds that a violation exists, then we will go to the next step, which is like going to a trial. There was no discussion about criminal. I was just trying to use a metaphor that she might understand how the process of code enforcement works.
I understand. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
If you can please state your name for the record.
Carol Kaloji.
Ms. Kaloji, if you can go ahead and start.
Okay. So my first approach with Michael was over the fence.
If you can get closer
move
to
the
the
microphone. Yeah, you can move it down so we can hear you. There you go.
Short and old. Okay, so my initial response, Initially, I approached Michael. I didn't know his mother was in the last stages.
and then it proceeded to text messages, which we both have copies of. But so the fence was installed in the early 2000s, and I asked Eleanor Brower back then if we could remove it. And her answer was the chain link fence stays as a support for the 6-inch vinyl. I said, all right. So in 2003, in the front part of it, I was repairing a gate, and so a section was removed from my side for that gate repair. And then I received a summons by the court to replace that section of chain link fence at my expense, plus a fine, all that, 2003. So I knew the fence was going to be a moot issue with Eleanor, so I'm not sure about me harassing them, but my next approach to Eleanor was actually
Ms. Carroll, let me just ask you this. What is your objection to them removing what has to be removed pursuant to the code enforcement officer?
All right. All right. The objection to scorching it with herbicide is because over 20 years I've maintained this 6-inch strip between our property, because once it was a moot point with her stating, with me replacing a fence section, that it stays. So I've been maintaining it, you know, scooching through it, trying to do it myself. I have had it treated with herbicide, but what it was is Eleanor had her own, she had different hedges. She reconfigured her backyard to mulch and pots. Well, I didn't know that. So that overgrowth of that one particular hedge has created a ball, and I can't get it out. So yeah, there's other stuff growing there from both sides, but the main thing is that the root ball from the previous hedge has continued on my side
Ms.
all this
Carroll,
time.
They are willing to remove it. So what is your objection?
Well, if I was put off by the fact that the conversation between us went south so fast and ended up with the new Ms. Brower saying that they would scorch the land between our earth. And that's, you know, aggressive. So I don't have a problem with it being removed properly. It was my assumption, trying to remove it myself for so long, that it had gotten to the pass of massive roots. So on my side, it's quite substantial, and it's grown in with the mesh.
What is your suggestion? So we can resolve this amicably since you guys are neighbors. Okay. What is your suggestion to them? It is their property.
Okay.
Okay? And the issue is on their property, and they're being held responsible for this.
Yes. Okay, so aside from the fact that I would like the fence down, that's a fact.
They don't
But
want the fence down,
I
and they
understand.
have no responsibility.
So if they can remove all the growth between the fence and not hinder my property, then if that's the case, I would like that so. But if the fence could come down, that would be good too.
The fence is not coming down.
Fence
They've
is staying
decided
up.
they don't want the fence down. It is their fence.
So I would like it done so thoroughly that when I sell the house, that there won't be a problem with that root. So if they can remove all the overgrowth, all of it.
If you need to speak, you can come up here to the microphone. You gotta come up to the microphone.
So that it doesn't grow back when I sell, you know, it's.
The only way to prevent it from growing back.
Ma'am?
Ma'am, right here. There's a microphone here.
I can do that. The only way to prevent the overgrowth, I don't know how to do this, I'm sorry.
Speak to the microphone, please.
The only way to prevent the overgrowth from coming back is to treat it with herbicide. I too am against herbicide. I don't like herbicide either. That's why I gave you the suggestion that if you'd like to continue to handle it yourself, that I won't use herbicide, because I don't like herbicide either. You and I spoke about this. You got angry about something else and brought this into code enforcement to try to bully us into taking down the fence.
Okay.
And it's not appropriate.
Ms.
So,
Braun?
she may choose between herbicide, having it trimmed.
Ms. Braun? Okay, so this is the decision.
The name is Brower.
Brower, Ms. Brower, decision.
Ma'am.
I'm speaking, and when I speak, I would appreciate professionalism. You're out of line, Ms. Brower. Ms. Brower, I could care less that you're upset.
You've addressed me
Ms.
improperly 5 times,
Well,
and my name is in
apologize
writing.
if I
Thank you for your
last name.
apology.
However, you are going to respect this office, okay? This is ridiculous.
I agree.
You're not bringing this drama here.
I agree.
You want March 19th?
Yes, ma'am, that's the recommendation.
March 19th, you will have to fix it however you want to fix it. It is your property.
My lawn care people come on Wednesdays, so we can have that done next Wednesday.
I could care less when you get it done, as long as it's done
long
before
as-
March 19th.
That's what I'm saying, if it's before.
March 19th, this drama is not going to be brought here.
My concern
Can I
with
ask for an
her,
extension slightly so I can get
You've
my
got
lawn
to
care?
sit and speak in the microphone, I'm sorry.
I know you can hear me.
Well, this is being recorded as well, so. Yeah.
As long as we can, I could ask for a slight extension, just make sure it can schedule with my lawn care people, that's all. So 1 extra week is all I'm asking for.
and if she would prefer that we do it with trimming, we would ask if the lawn people can have access to her property, or if she prefers the
I'm no longer
herbicide.
going to be the middle person. If you want to go ahead and discuss that with her, you can discuss it with her later. He is asking for more time after March 19th. Mr. Kroll, what's your decision?
Yes, ma'am, I think we can do that. We can go 30 days, April 8th.
April 8th. So you will have until April 8th to address that issue.
Thank you.
Okay, decision is made. No more, ma'am. Have a great day. Page 17, case number LCE 23-00071, property address 742 Zella Lane, Jose Contreras and Carmen Solano. Page 17.
Yes,
Did they leave?
they left.
Okay.
Yep. Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 23-00071. The address is 742 Zella Lane. The owner is Carmen Solano. The violation is ordinance 4134, Section 1 derelict vehicle. The date of the violation was January 6, 2023. To be corrected by January 16th of 2023. The reinspection occurred on January 27th of 2023. Photos taken March 2nd of 2023 show the violation still exists. The city recommends that the property come into compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed until compliance is met. I did speak with these folks when they came here this morning. I explained the process to them. They were unaware that the vehicles are still there. As I explained to them, I went by the address yesterday, and both vehicles are still there. They were told by their tenant that they were gone and it was taken care of. So when I told them I saw them yesterday, they were not happy, but they understand the process and they understand that they need to be gone by March 19th.
Okay, so we're going to go ahead and uphold your recommendation of March 19th, 2023. Anyone else here, either for summary administration or summary disposition, I should say, or that wants to be heard?
Perfect case, 22-826. Alice Street, 59.
What page is that?
31. Alice Street.
Sir, you need to be sworn in. Can you raise your right hand?
Sir, if you can raise your right hand, please.
Do you affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
Your right hand, that's the other hand. La otra mano.
Ok, mi inglés es limitado.
Okay, está
The
bien.
testimony you're about to give is the truth and nothing but the truth?
I swear. That's it?
Yes, we're going to go ahead and get started.
All right.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number PER 22-08326. That's 1319 Alice Street. Owner is IPV Property Group, Inc. Violations for Florida Building Code 105. That's a permits required. It's replacement of windows and doors. Date of violation was on December 15th of 2022. to be corrected by January 14th of '23. Reinspection on January 18th and pictures on March 2nd show that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the violation be corrected by April 8th of 2023, or a $50 a day fine be imposed and run until compliance is met.
So the issues are the windows?
Yes, they were replaced without permits, and there was one front door that was also replaced.
Okay.
We didn't do that. Just paint the window. We didn't change the windows.
You didn't
I'm
change the
painting
windows, no?
inside, yeah, and outside.
They look pretty new.
Yeah, yeah.
They had
no.
the windows had tags on them.
No. We never touched the window. So I'm doing this, to be honest, the painting and floor and cabinets. That's it.
So you're saying you did not change the windows? Those are
No.
not new windows?
You can check again, so.
Yeah, if you would allow me access onto the property, then I can get you to sign a consent form that I can check the windows.
We need to figure out a date because the owner is outside of the country, so I can go inside neither, so they will back after 20. I don't know exactly the day.
Yeah, I just need permission to come onto the property and check the windows out if you're
Yeah,
saying they
you can
haven't been
go.
complied. Will he be back before the 8th of April?
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so the agreement then is that you're going to go look at the windows before April 8th, 2023 to see? Okay, perfect.
I need your name.
Bernardo Urrutia.
Can you spell your last name?
Yeah, Bernardo Urrutia.
Sir, can you spell your first and last name, please?
Okay. Can I show you my ID?
Yes. 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 U-R-R-U-T-A-A-C-U-A-J-E. Do you have a contact phone number?
341.
341.
73. 88.
I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We're good? Anyone else that has not been called before we go? Okay. So page 2, case number LCE 22-05009, property address 411 Garden Drive, owner William Ruffton and the Revocable Living Trust of Lunette. Code Enforcement Officer Darren Kroll, go ahead, sir.
Darren Kroll, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. This is case LCE 22-05009. The address is 411 Garden Drive. The owner is William Ruffton and the William Ruffton and Lunette Living Revocable Trust. The violation is ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.1, roofs structurally sound and maintained. The date of the violation was July 28th of 2022. It was to be corrected by September 26th of 2022. Reinspection occurred January 27th of 2023. Photos were taken March 2nd of 2023, showed the violations still exist. The city recommends the property come into compliance by May 8th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed until compliance is met. I spoke with the property manager yesterday, and he informed me that they have contacted and have a letter of intent from a roofing company to get this completed within the 60 days.
Right, okay, so we're going to go ahead and uphold the officer's recommendation. Thank you.
Can we skip to page 23, the one at the top, 801 East Main Street?
Pardon?
Okay. Page 23, case number LCE 23-00150, property address 801 East Main Street, owner 10 Cap Partners LLC, Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 23-00150, address is 801 East Main Street. The owner's 10 Cap Partners LLC, the violations of Section 86-3 for dirt, filth, et cetera, on the streets and alleys prohibited. Date of the violations, January 10th, 2023, to be corrected the same date as this case was cited for irreparable and irreversible damages. I'm going to go ahead and cross-reference this case to case number LCE 22-07416 also, as it was for the same discharge at the same location approximately 2 to 2.5 months prior to this case. So the case was cited as irreparable and irreversible damages for discharging of cement and or cement dust off-site. The material that was discharged ended up in the sidewalks, in the roadway, and into a stormwater inlet along the roadway that leads to Lake Bonnie and to a wetland area next to Fletcher Park. The City of Lakeland's asking for a fine of $2,220 with no deadline to pay, and the staff from Lakes and Stormwater is here, and they'll be testifying to the evidence and to the fines requested on this case. The pictures that are shown are taken January 10th, 2023, the date the incident occurred.
So Ms. Kaiser, what date are you requesting?
What, as far as what?
For it to be addressed, or?
So on irreparable, irreversible cases, we don't give a payment deadline because when deadlines are given, it's generally so that it can revert back to the original amount. These cases don't get reduced, however, so there is no payment deadline. So the order would just be that a fine is ordered of $2,220 for irreparable, irreversible damages. However, I am going to have Lakes and Stormwater come up. April Reeves is going to come up, and she's going to testify as to where that number comes from and why that number is associated with this particular case.
Sure, thank you.
Hi, I'm April Reeves, Environmental Specialist for City of Lakeland, Lakes and Stormwater Division. A lot of research, thought, and consideration is used in determining the penalty or fine amount for each irreparable, irreversible case. There is a matrix that is used in making this determination as to an appropriate fine amount for noncompliance in regard to illicit discharges where irreparable and irreversible damage has occurred. It's intended to provide a fair and consistent method for environmental enforcement for violations. The matrix used by Lakes and Stormwater was developed by incorporating the methodology of the matrix that the Florida Department of Environmental Protection uses for their enforcement. I think he's pulling up the matrix so you can take a look at that. Yep. Okay. So as you look at the matrix, it shows environmental harm in one axis and deviation from requirement in the other. Environmental harm is to answer the question, at what level would this type of discharge harm the environment, which is including plants, animals, humans, and specifically, or especially here in Lakeland, our lakes. You will see minor, moderate, and major categories as the levels. The deviation from requirement is taking into account various factors of the incident, and they also have ratings of minor, moderate, and major. Some of the factors that are considered in this axis includes what the amount and type of discharge, the type of impact that this discharge will have on the lake systems, how prepared the responsible parties were to prevent the discharge from occurring. Is this a first-time occurrence or is this a repeat? Was it intentional or accidental? Was there any way that this outcome could have been prevented? With this particular case, The environmental harm with concrete washout is considered moderate. A minor would be something like soil or sand. A major would be something like oil or gasoline. The Environmental Protection Agency states that concrete washout contains toxic metals, is caustic and corrosive, and has a pH of near 12. As comparison, Drano liquid has a pH of 13.5. Caustic water can harm fish gills and eyes and interfere with reproduction. The safe pH range for aquatic life habitats is 6.5 to 9 in our lakes here. In soils, it penetrates into the ground and can inhibit plant growth. Factors considered with the deviation from requirement in this case is moderate. If it weren't for the following factors, it would have been dropped into a minor category. This is the second time that this case has been opened at this property for concrete washout discharge. The first time was about 2.5 months ago, as Angie has stated. It was before this case. The business owner at that time was educated by Lakes and Stormwater staff, and so the owner was aware of the type of violation. The lack of controls in place to prevent concrete from traveling off-site and into the storm drain. This category did not reach a major deviation because the responsible party did attempt to clean up the washout that ran onto the sidewalk and street shortly after he was contacted by code enforcement. The method used to clean up was an acceptable method and that would not cause further damage. So as we were initially looking at this case, we were looking at about a $3,000 fine. As we obtained more information on the case, Lakes and Stormwater lowered the fine to $2,220. That's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. So we're going to go ahead and uphold the recommendation of $2,220. I'm going to go back now to page 3, case number LCE 22-07434, property address 1522 East Main Street. Owner Stephanie Waterman, I'm not sure if I pronounced that even correctly. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Povey.
Good morning, Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 22-07434, address 1522 East Main Street. Owner is Stephanie Waterman. I'm not sure if I'm saying it either. The violation is for housing ordinance as listed in the agenda. The date of the violation is 10/31/2022, to be corrected by 12/30/2022. Reinspection on 1/03/2023 show that the violation still exists. Photos were uploaded on 3/2/2023. At this time, the city recommends compliance by 4/8/2023 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 4, case number LCE 22-07703, property address 1706 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue. Code Enforcement Officer Adam Gomez, owner William Larry Hunt, and Nathaniel Horton.
Alex Gomez, reading for Adam Gomez. Case number is LCE 22-07703. Address is 1706 Martin L. King Jr. Avenue. The owners are Nathaniel Horton or William L. Larry Horton. Hunt. Violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, and as listed in the agenda. The date of violation is 11/16/2022. To be corrected by 1/15/2023. A reinspection was done on 1/17/2023. Pictures were obtained on 3/2/2023. City recommends that the property come into compliance by 5/8/2023, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The code enforcement officer's recommendation is upheld. Thank you, Mr. Gomez.
Thank you.
Page 5, case number LCE 22-07913, property address 2310 Janilla Avenue, owner Olu Sobowale, code enforcement officer Charles McClellan.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-07913 for the address of 2310 Jonila Avenue. Owners are Olu Sobowale. Violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 305.3.1, roof structurally sound and maintained. Date of the violation was September the 21st of 2022, to be corrected by January the 20th of 2023. Reinspection on January 23rd of 2023, and photos taken on March the 3rd of 2023 show that the violation did still exist. The city recommends the property come into compliance by May the 8th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met. I did speak with Dr. Sobowale this morning, and it is, in his terms, in compliance, so I just need to go verify it.
Perfect. So your recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 5, LCE 22-08336, property address 415 Montgomery Avenue, owner Lily Laster, code enforcement officer Daniel Povey.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-08336, 415 Montgomery Avenue. Owner is Lily Laster. The violation is for ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of the violation was 12/15/2022, to be corrected by 12/25/2022. Reinspection on 01/06/2023 and pictures on 3/2/2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city recommends compliance by 3/19/2023, or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
Your recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 8, case number LCE 22-08436, property address 2409 Cambridge Avenue. Owner Megan Michelle Welch. April Reeves is the code enforcement officer.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, presenting this case since April Reeves no longer works for our department. Case number LCE 22-08436, address is 2409 Cambridge Avenue. Owner is listed as Megan Michelle Welch. The violations of Section 86-3 for dirt, filth, et cetera, on streets and alleys prohibited. Date of the violations, December 27th, 2022, to be corrected by January 2nd, 2023. Reinspection January 4th, 2023, and pictures taken March 3rd, 2023 show that violations remain. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th, 2023, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed. So what the issue is discharge of sand and materials, and they've got nothing in place to prevent any discharges. So they had previously discharged. They still have small amounts of discharge on the street. There are stormwater drains across the road and just down the street from this location that are showing sediment materials going into them. So the city would ask that they not only keep it cleaned, but they install some kind of precaution to follow their permitting regulations that would keep the sediment from discharging off the property.
Code enforcement officer's recommendation is upheld. Page 8, case number LCE 22-08454, property address 513 Beach Avenue. Owner Avis Powell. Joey Brownlow is the code enforcement officer.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-08454, address 513 Beach Avenue. Owner Avis Powell. Violation ordinance 4134, Section 1 for derelict vehicle. The date of violation is 12/28/2022, to be corrected by 1/7/2023. The reinspection on 1/9/2023 and photos taken on 3/6/2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by 3/19/2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Code enforcement officers, Recommendation is upheld. Page 9, case number LCE 22-08459, property address 950 Ruby Street, Alfredo Consuelo Malvarez and Sofia Benitez, Code Enforcement Officer Joey Brownlow.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-08459. Address is 850 Ruby Street. Owner Sofia Benitez and Alfredo Malvez. Violation ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4 for care of premises for open storage and junk. Date of violation 12/28 of 2022 to be corrected by 1/4 of 2023. A reinspection on 1/5 of 2023 and photos taken on 3/6 of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by 3/19 of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 10, case number LCE 22-08487, property address 1050 Madison Avenue. The estate of Robert Stern Altemis, Code Enforcement Officer Alex Gomez.
Alex Gomez, City of Lakeland Code Enforcement. Case numbers LCE 22-08487. The address is 1050 Madison Avenue. The owner's information is Alta Mies Robertson, the estate of. Violations ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307, care of premises, open storage and junk. Date of violation is 12/28/2022 to be corrected by 1/4/2023. A reinspection was done on 1/6/2023 and pictures were taken on 3/2 of 2023. The city recommends the property come into compliance by 3/19 of 2023 or a fine of $50 a day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
What exactly is the issue here?
The open storage of the bed and the bed frame.
Okay.
They have it, and they have buckets and amongst other stuff in the carport that's got to be stored in a secure building.
So the Code Enforcement Officer's recommendation is upheld. Sir, what is your name?
Dennis Bates, the house right there.
Oh, this house right here?
Perfect timing.
Why don't you come on up, please?
You're gonna have to swear him in too. Sir, if you can raise your right hand, do you swear affirm the testimony you're about to give is the whole truth and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Can you please state your name for the record?
Dennis Edward Bates, Senior.
Okay, and how are you related to Alamis Robertson?
That was my grandmama. She deceased. I'm the estate owner.
Okay. So the hearing officer, the Code Enforcement Officer, I should say, has indicated or has recommended that all the items that you see there in the garage be removed by March 19th, 2023. Can you comply with that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. If you do not comply with that, there will be a $50 fine after March 19th.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay. No problem.
Good. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
You're welcome. Page 10, case number LCE 22-08493. Property address 643 South Ingram Avenue. Owner 956 East Palmetto Street Land Trust. Number 100-111. Daniel Povey is the Code Enforcement Officer.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-08493. Address is 643 South Ingraham Avenue. Owner is 956 East Palmetto Street Land Trust, number 100111, for violations of Ordinance 4134, Section 1, derelict vehicle. Date of the violation is 12/29/2022, to be corrected on 01/08/2023, re-inspected on 01/19/2023. Photos on 3/2/2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city recommends compliance by 3/19/2023 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 11, case number LCE 22-08507, property address 823 North Iowa Avenue. Owner James Masika, Code Enforcement Officer, or Masika, Danielle Povey.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 22-08507. Address is 823 North Iowa Avenue. Owner is James Masika for violation for ordinance 5425, section 4.3.5, zoning general accessory structures. Date of the violation is 12/30/2022 to be corrected by 1/9/2023, re-inspected on 1/10/2023. Photos on 3/2/2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city recommends compliance by 3/19/2023 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
The code enforcement officer's recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 11, case number LCE 22-08511, 2903 Redwood Avenue. Owner, 2903 Redwood Land Trust. Code enforcement officer, Charles McClellan.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 22-08511 for the address of 2903 Redwood Avenue. The owners are listed as 2903 Redwood Land Trust. Violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage, and junk. Date of the violation was December the 30th of 2022, to be corrected by January the 6th of 2023. Reinspection on January the 9th of 2023, and photos taken on March the 3rd of 2023 show that the violation remains. At this time, the city recommends the property come into compliance by March the 19th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 13, case number LCE 23-00005, property address 1447 Conisty Road. Owner, Henry Jean and Rafael Muriel. Code enforcement officer, Adam Gomez.
When you get finished, we need to go back to page 12.
Oh, did I miss one?
One says establish repeat.
Okay.
Wanna
We'll
switch?
go back after this one.
Okay. Alex Gomez presenting for Adam Gomez. Case number is LCE 23-00005. Address is 1447 Conisty Road. The owners are Henry Jean and Rafael Muriel. Violation ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage, and junk. Date of violation is 1/3 of 2023, to be corrected by 1/10 of 2023. A reinspection was completed on 1/11 of 2023, showing the violation still exists. Pictures were taken on 3/2 of 2023. City recommends the property come into compliance by 3/19 of 2023, or a fine of $50 a day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Okay, the recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 12, case number LCE 22-08520, property address 4727 Valley Hill Court. Owner is Randy Leon Kenny. Charles McClellan is the code enforcement officer.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 22-08520 for the address of 4727 Valley Hill Court. Owners are Randy Leon Kennedy. Violations of Ordinance 5425, Section 5.17.3.5, parking and storage on residential property is regulated. Date of the violation was December the 30th of 2022, to be corrected by January the 9th of 2023. Reinspection on January 10th showed that the violation did still exist past the time. They did have an affidavit of compliance in February 21st of 2023. At this time, the city recommends we have a finding of fact for future repeat violations since they existed past the deadline.
Okay, so the repeat violation is established. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 14, case number LCE 23-00010, property address 1140 West Marjorie Street. Owner Allison Nozero, code enforcement officer Joey Brownlow.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00010. Address 1140 West Marjorie Street. Owner Allison Nocero. Violation Ordinance 4134, Section 1 for derelict vehicle. The date of violation was 1/3 of 2023, to be corrected by 1/13 of 2023. A reinspection on 1/17 of 2023 and photos on 3/6 of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by 3/19 of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 14, case number LCE 23-00021, property address 714 Park Hill Avenue, owner Gaia Bonini. Daniel Povey is the code enforcement officer.
Daniel Povey, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 23-00021. Address is 714 Park Hill Avenue. Owner is Gaia Bonini. For the violation is for Section 86-2 Lakeland Code lot clearing, overgrowth, trash, junk, and debris. Date of the violation is 01/04/2023 to be corrected on 01/11/2023, re-inspected on 01/20/2023. Photos on 3/7/2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city recommends compliance by 3/19/2023 or a $50 per day fine be imposed.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
On page 4, the last case with Adam Gomez, what was the exact date there? I want to make sure I have it. It's the LCE 22-07703, 1706 Martin Luther King Jr. Avenue.
What was your question?
What was the date that was recommended?
5/8.
5/8, okay. Thank you. Page 15, case number LCE 23-00033, property address 621 Hartzell Avenue, Bobby Kelly, Joey Brownlow is the code enforcement officer.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00033. Address is 621 Hartsell Avenue. Owner Bobby Joe Kelly. Violation ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises for overgrowth, open storage, and junk. Date of violation is January 4th of 2023 to be corrected by January 11th of 2023. Reinspection on January 12th of 2023 and photos on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 16, case number LCE 23-00046, property address 1010 Oak Hill Street, owner Michael Brown, Beverly Brown, code enforcement officer Joey Brownlow.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-0046. Address is 1010 Oak Hill Street. Owners are Beverly and Michael Brown. Violation is ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, for care of premises for open storage and junk. Date of violation is January 5th of 2023 to be corrected by January 12th of 2023. The reinspection on January 13th of 2023 and photos taken on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 16, case number LCE 23-00051, property address 1111 Ruby Street, owner Central Florida Income Fund, Angela Kaiser, is the code enforcement officer.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 23-00051, address as the 1111 Ruby Street. Owners listed as Central Florida Income Fund LLC with violations of 86-3 for dirt, filth, et cetera, on the streets and alleys prohibited, and 86-4 for offensive liquids prohibited on streets and public places. Date of the violations, January 5th, 2023, to be corrected by January 12th, 2023. Reinspection, January 13th, 2023. Pictures on the same date show that the violation was in existence after the deadline. At this time, the city would ask to establish a finding of fact that the violation did exist after the deadline.
Okay. So the owner is established as a repeat violator. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 16, case number LCE 23-00059, property address 2100 South Crystal Lake Drive. Keith Robinson and Karen Robinson are the owners. Charles McClellan is the code enforcement officer.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number is LCE 23-00059 for the address of 2100 South Crystal Lake Drive. Owners are Karen and Keith Robinson. Violations of Ordinance 5425, Section 5.17.3.6, parking of commercial vehicles and trailers prohibited. This was a repeat violation from previous case number LCE 22-05675. Date of the violation was January the 6th of 2023. Since it was a repeat violation, there was no correct by date. Reinspection on March the 3rd showed the violation did come into compliance on March the 3rd. There was a total of 56 days of non-compliance for a fine totaling $2,800.
Okay. The owner is established as a repeat violator. Thank you.
Wait, come back. It has to be. It's not established in a repeat. It's the case has been dismissed with a repeat fine of $2,800.
So he wants a fine, is what you're going to do?
He wants the case dismissed with a fine.
My apologies. Okay, so you want the case dismissed with a fine of $2,800?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so your recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 17, case number LCE 23-00067, property address 515 East Memorial Boulevard, owner Polk Fork COP LLC, code enforcement officer is Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number LCE 23-00067. That's 515 East Memorial Boulevard. Owners are Polk Fork COP LLC. Violations for Ordinance 5425 for prohibited signs, banners, streamers. Date of violation was January 6th of 2023 to be corrected by January 6th of 2023. Reinspection on, let's see. I'm sorry, I got lost. Pictures taken on March 2nd, 23 showed that the violation still exists. This is a repeat violator, citing case number LCE 22-00306. So it is the city's recommendation that a $50 a day fine be imposed effective January 6th of 2023.
January 6, 2023?
January 6th of 23, yes.
Retroactive, and you are looking to establish him as a repeat violator?
No, it's already been established as a repeat, citing case number LCE 22-00306.
You're just looking to establish a fine.
Yeah, it's going to be to impose a fine of $50 a day, but effective from January, the date that it was wrote up.
Okay. Your recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 19. Case number LCE 23-00093, property address 4609 Darson Drive. Philip Giuliano is the owner. Charles McClellan is the code enforcement officer.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00093 for the address of 4609 Darson Drive. Owners are Philip Giuliano. Violations of Ordinance 5425, Section 5.17.3.3, construction and stored trailers permitted and regulated. Date of the violation was January the 9th of 2023, to be corrected by January the 19th of 2023. Reinspection on January the 19th, 2023, and photos taken as recent as March the 3rd of 2023 show that the violation did remain. At this time, the city recommends the property come into compliance by March the 19th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Recommendation is upheld. Thank you, Mr. Alcala.
Thank you.
Page 20, case number LCE 23-00102, property address 606 Carroll Avenue. Code enforcement officer Joy Brownlow. The owners are ER Florida Properties LLC.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00102. Address is 606 Carroll Avenue. Owners ER Florida Properties LLC. Violation ordinance 4134, section 1 for derelict vehicle. Date of violation was January 9th of 2023 to be corrected by January 19th of 2023. Reinspection on January 20th of 23 and photos taken on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Your recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 21, case number LCE 23-00140, property address 3922 Sunnybrook Lane. Owner, I'm assuming the revocable trust of Francis Surridge, I'm not sure. Joey Brownlow is the code enforcement officer.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00140. Address is 3922 Sunnybrook Lane. Owner revocable H trust for Francis Surridge. Violation is ordinance 4134, section 1 for derelict vehicle. Date of violation was January 10th of 2023 to be corrected by January 20th of 2023. A reinspection on January 20th and photos on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you very much. Page 22, case number LCE 23-00145, property address 3840 Sunnybrook Lane. Owner John K. Kennedy. Joey Brownlow is the code enforcement officer.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00145. Address is 3840 Sunnybrook Lane. Owner is John K. Kennedy. Violation is ordinance 4134, section 1 for derelict vehicle. The date of violation was January 10th of 2023 to be corrected by January 20th of 2023. Reinspection on January 20th of 2023 and photos on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 23, case number LCE 23-00152, property address 1011 Oak Hill Street. Owner is Paul Timothy Butler, code enforcement officer Joey Brownlow.
Joey Brownlow, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00152. Address is 1011 Oak Hill Street. Owner is Timothy Paul Butler. Violation is ordinance 4134, section 1 for derelict vehicle. Date of violation is January 11th of 2023 to be corrected by January 21st of 2023. The reinspection on January 23rd of 2023 and photos taken on March 6th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th of 2023, or a $50 per day fine may be imposed and run until compliance is met.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Page 24, case number LCE 23-00204, property address 1640 Tangerine Street. William Stanley Teams Jr., code enforcement officer Charles McClellan.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00204 for the address of 1640 Tangerine Street. Owners are William Stanley Teams Jr. Violations of ordinance 4775, section 3, posting of building numbers, and others listed in the agenda. Date of the violation was January the 12th of 2023 to be corrected by January the 22nd of 2023. Reinspection on January the 23rd and photos taken on March the 3rd of 2023 show that the violation remains. At this time, the city would recommend that the property come into compliance by March the 19th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Recommendation is upheld. Thank you, Mr. McClellan. Page 25, case number LCE 23-00206, property address 1640 Tangerine Street. Is this the same one as the prior one? Mr.
Same
McClellan?
address, different case.
Okay. Code enforcement officer Charles McClellan.
Charles McClellan for Code Enforcement for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00206 for the address of 1640 Tangerine Street. Owners are William Stanley Teams Jr. Violations of ordinance 4134, section 1 derelict vehicle. Date of the violation was January the 12th of 2023, to be corrected by January the 23rd of 2023. Reinspection on January the 24th and photos taken on March the 3rd, 2023 show that the violation still exists. At this time, the city recommends the property come into compliance by March the 19th of 2023, or a fine of $50 per day be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Recommendations are passed. Thank you, Mr. McClellan.
Thank you.
Page 26, case number LCE 23-00218, property address 137 West Over Street. Owners Megan Nicole Harvey and Darren Sean Harvey, and the code enforcement officer is Charles McClellan.
Charles McClellan, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00218 for the address of 137 Westover Street. Owners are Megan Nicole Harvey and Darren Sean Harvey. Violations of Ordinance 3947, Chapter 3, Section 307.4, care of premises, open storage, and junk. This is a repeat violation referencing a previous case number LCE 22-02333. Date of the violation was January the 13th of 2023, to be corrected by as the same date because it was a repeat violation. Reinspections on January, oh, I don't even have that date, sorry, my apologies. We did file an affidavit of compliance on February the 9th of 2023. At that time, we would like to impose a fine for 27 days of noncompliance totaling $1,350.
1,350?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So fine is imposed and your recommendation is upheld. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, page 29. Case number LCE 23-00255, property address 929 Clearview Avenue. Owner is KMH Holding of Lakeland LLC. Code Enforcement Officer Angela Kaiser.
Angela Kaiser, Code Enforcement Officer with the City of Lakeland. Case number LCE 23-00255, address is 929 Clearview Avenue. The owners are KMH Holdings of Lakeland LLC. The violations of Section 86-3, reference dirt, filth, etc. on the streets and alleys prohibited. Date of the violations, January 17th, 2023, to be corrected by January 23rd, 2023. Reinspection, January 24th, 2023, and pictures taken on March 3rd, 2023, show that violations still remain. At this time, the city would recommend compliance by March 19th, 2023, or a $50 per day fine would be imposed.
Recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 30. Case number PER 22-07567, property address 612 West Park Street. Owner Merlin Properties of Central Florida LLC. Daniel Sheets is the Code Enforcement Officer.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number PER 22-07567. That's 612 West Park Street. Owners are Merlin Properties of Central Florida LLC. Violations for Florida Building Code of Section 105 for a permit required. Date of violation was on November 3rd of 2022. To be corrected by December 3rd of 2022. Reinspection on January 4th of 2023 show that the violation still exists. And pictures taken on March 2nd of 2023 show that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the property be brought back in compliance by April 8th of 2023, or a $50 a day fine be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Mr. Sheets, what exactly is the violation here?
They replaced more than 25% of the fence without a permit.
Okay. And can you repeat the recommendation again until?
It's going to be for a $50 a day fine if not in compliance by April 8th of 2023,
Okay.
and then run until compliance is met.
Okay, your recommendation is upheld, Mr. Sheets. Page 30, case number PER 22-07868, property address 919 Cornelia Avenue, Indira de la Paz is the owner. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland. Case number PER 22-07868. That's 919 Cornelia Avenue. Owner is Adriana de la Paz. Violations of Florida Building Code Section 105.1 for permit required. Date of violation was November 18th of 2022, to be corrected by December 18th of 2022. Reinspection on January 18th of 2023 and pictures taken on March 2nd of 2023 showed that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the property be brought back into compliance by April 8th of 2023, or a $30 a day fine be imposed.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Page 30, case number PER 22-07914, property address 409 Hennessy Street. Owner, I guess a personal representative, Nehemias Hernandez Amilcar, or PER, don't know if that's a personal representative. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number PER 22-07914, that's 409 Hennessy Street. Owners are Nemes Per Amilcar Hernandez, violations for Florida Building Code Section 105.1, permit required. Date of violation was November 21st of 2022. To be corrected by December 21st of 2022, reinspection on January 25th of 2023 showed that the violation still exists. And pictures taken on March 2nd of 23 showed the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the violation be brought back into compliance by April 8th of 2023, or a $50 a day fine be imposed and run until compliance is met.
What is the violation here?
If I can pull up the pictures. It's for installing the driveway.
Okay, perfect.
To the apron.
The recommendation is upheld. Thank you, Mr. Sheets. Page 31, case number PER 22-08105, property address 425 Hunter Street. Owner is Mark Lawrence Melnick, or Thomas Lawrence. Code Enforcement Officer Daniel Sheets.
Daniel Sheets, Code Enforcement Officer for the City of Lakeland, case number PER 22-08105, that's 425 Hunter Street. Owners are Thomas Lawrence and Mark Melnick. Violations for Florida Building Code of Section 105 for a fence permit required. Date of violation was December 1st of 2022. To be corrected by December 31st, 2022. Reinspection on January 6th of 2023 and pictures taken on March 2nd of 2023 showed that the violation still exists. It is the city's recommendation that the property be brought back into compliance by April 8th of 2023, or a $50 a day fine be imposed and run until compliance is met.
Okay, the recommendation is upheld. Thank you. Any other cases that I have not heard? Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you. Or hearing's adjourned, I should say.